So because you brought up DeSantis, I think it's just a really interesting question of what happened to him. Because for a while there, when you think he's going to be the nominee or he's polling 50-50 with Trump, a year or so ago, whenever it was, he's riding the wave of being the best governor during COVID. You didn't have the red wave in the 2022 midterm. So I think Republicans said, whoa, we can't back Trump. We got to go to DeSantis. I think everybody assumed he'd maybe be the nominee. I'm watching this dude as he's campaigning, though, and I've watched him on a couple podcasts and all that. And I have nothing against Ron DeSantis. He seems like a great governor. I think he would be a good president. To me, he doesn't do well running for president. He does, all the different stereotypes I think are true. He seems robotic. He doesn't seem comfortable giving his answers, the facial things, this, can I smile, do this?
Oh, that smile.
And this is a small thing, but
it matters.
It does. Okay, but I was watching him on the Patrick Bet David podcast, which I watch all the time. I really enjoy that podcast. And he finally came on, and Patrick Bet David was asking him, what kind of music do you listen to? And he said something about country. And maybe I'm focusing too much on this. I was talking to my wife about this, but I just couldn't believe his answer. He said something about, hey, what kind of music do you listen to? He said, oh, some country, some blah, blah. And then he goes, some country riffs and tracks. And I said, no human being has ever said that. That was like an AI-generated response.
Right.
Now, maybe I'm looking too much into that, but I just go, that is somebody who's not comfortable or not authentic. He doesn't know how to sit down and have a beer and just shoot the breeze. And that's what people like, I think, in these interviews and podcasts. They want to see you be a human or maybe swear or just be real. And to me, Ron DeSantis is a great guy and a great governor, probably would be a good president, but he's just like not comfortable in his own skin.
No, I think that's a great point. And it sums up kind of where his campaign went wrong. I think, look, let me give him the benefit of the doubt by saying a couple things. First of all, even if he was an outgoing, gregarious guy and he ran a perfect campaign, I still don't know if there's a universe where he beats Trump, because Trump has such a hold on the base of the Republican Party that I don't know that DeSantis had really ever had a chance. That's number one. Number two, I think there were some other factors that hurt him. And I think the way that Trump has been rebuilt and the way that January 6th and his post-election conduct has been downplayed and explained away by the large part of the conservative media, which gave kind of that benefit of the doubt of, well, it wasn't really that bad. That really hurt DeSantis too, because Trump was toxic after January 6th. To the point where I think a lot of Republicans who didn't vote to impeach him in the Senate didn't, because they thought he was done anyway. They thought, this guy's not coming back from this. Well, fast forward a few years later, and here we are. And so when DeSantis first got in, he was polling close to Trump nationally and in a lot of states. I actually thought he had a really good chance to win the nomination. In fact, I said, if I could get the betting odds, whatever they were at that point, I would have bet on DeSantis. Not because I thought he was most likely to win, because I thought with good odds, I would have taken DeSantis. And I think part of that is I just misjudged the hold of the Trump over the base of the party. Part of it is what you pointed out. I underestimated how bad DeSantis's personality was. I really did, because he was just so robotic. And the thing is, running for president is different than being president, no question. But a lot of it, you're right, comes down to, do I like this guy? Could I have a beer with this guy? That's what George W. Bush, say what you will about him, did so well with. Is you felt like, I could sit down and bullshit with this guy and have a beer and we'd have a good time. And to some extent, Trump has that too, that kind of man. He'd say what you will about him. It'd be interesting to have a conversation with him. I know he doesn't drink, Obama too, to some degree, had that. And I just think DeSantis either doesn't have it, it's just not him, or he does have it, but he feels like he has to suppress that in order to just give the right answer and all. And I think he suffers from this too, this paralysis of, he seems to always be calculating what he needs to say. And that is one of his biggest problems too, is he didn't just come out and go right after Trump right away for the obvious things that I will say now he and Haley are going after Trump for, but it's too late by this point for him, certainly, maybe for Haley. these arguments are the arguments he should have been making right away, but he was trying to walk that fine line of, well, I don't want to piss off the Trump base, and I want to be critical but not too critical. And I think that is really what sunk him, combined with his just stunning lack of personality.